CARS versus CARS. I'm Skylar James. Welcome back. Today we are breaking down what's in CARS from Kraneshares, what's in CARS from First Trust, and why you should strongly consider owning both. You know that satisfying feeling when two puzzle pieces fit together perfectly? That's what these two ETFs are like. There's almost no overlap between their holdings, but together they give investors a serious opportunity to cover the automotive space of today and, more importantly, the future. About the only place these two ETFs line up is with the expense ratios of 70 and 72 basis points, respectively. After that, it's as different as vanilla and chocolate. Both ETFs are called CARS. Little confusing, so I'm going to call them First Trust ETF and Kraneshares ETF. First Trust has a very specific mandate. They offer a no-nonsense approach to the automakers of today. Take a look. These are strictly firms that engage in the manufacture of cars and light trucks. And they're all stocks we've heard of before. It doesn't include any battery stocks, no companies making self-driving sensors, only companies that build cars. The ETF is light on the speculative plays, even leaving off the $75 billion NIO out of its holdings. I'm not even sure you can still be speculative at $75 billion market cap, can you? Either way, NIO isn't present. First Trust has gone out of their way to go light on emerging market companies. Instead, we see the ETF lean heavily on Japanese, German, and American businesses. Interestingly, this ETF just celebrated its 10th birthday. That's 10 years in existence, but has only lured in $69 million in investment dollars. That's the investing world's way of saying this ETF is very specific and niche, but probably not necessary in most portfolios. Switch over to CARS from Kraneshares. That ETF just changed its underlying index 2 months ago. So any analysis you find on them from June of 21 or prior is outdated and irrelevant to you as an investor. Ignore those analyses. Before this drastic index change, the Kraneshares ETF looked similar to other auto ETFs like Drive from Global X and iDrive from iShares. Just a bundle of car names and semiconductor companies. Well, take a look at the Kraneshares top 10 now. The holdings are similar at first, but you'll quickly see there are almost no traditional automakers. No Toyota, for instance, 0%. You really think that Toyota won't be involved in the transportation revolution? In 3.5 years of existence, the Kraneshares ETF has earned a healthy $250 million in AUM. So Kraneshares offers us a very different approach than First Trust that relies on well-known auto builders. The Kraneshares ETF is very heavy on China too. Now, if anybody can successfully pull off this China-heavy theme, it's Kraneshares. They're the leader in China-themed ETFs. Some might say a black eye of the ETF is the expense ratio at 0.72%. But it's not all that high, relatively speaking, for a thematic international ETF. Not saying I like the expense ratio, it's just that's not that out of line we see in other niche emerging market ETFs. You, as an investor, just have to ask yourself, how comfortable am I holding Chinese equities? That's your call. It's been a bit turbulent over there. If you've enjoyed the video so far, don't subscribe. While those are nice, I would prefer you check out another video on my channel. Let me know which you like better. I'm trying out some different video styles and I would love to have your feedback. Back to the ETFs, the biggest difference between the First Trust and Kraneshares ETFs is the variations in holdings. There's virtually no overlap between these two ETFs. Remember, First Trust doesn't hold NIO and Kraneshares doesn't hold Toyota. Kraneshares is over 40% Chinese and Hong Kong listed firms, so if you think NIO and Associates are going to be the future of transportation, the folks at Crane want your business. And if your investing intuition says that the big-time automakers of today will continue being the transportation leaders for decades to come, First Trust can help you profit on that. But what am I doing with these two ETFs? I'm going to hold them both because they fit so well together, like investment puzzle pieces. There's no overlap, and together they provide a nearly complete picture of the global automotive landscape without heavy allocations to Apple and Microsoft and Google like we see in other automotive ETFs. Kraneshares is the pure play, new companies, the unproven companies, the emerging market companies, and First Trust CARS is the household name, already successful automakers of today. Which one will be the long-term winner? Leave your guesses in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.